Hey, and welcome back to the Inhabit Mars channel. Hope everybody's having a great day. Today, we're going to take a look at a Gigapan by Neville Thompson. Some of these finds in here were by Yuri Kono, and I believe he actually did a Gigapan on this also. Some of my snips, I think, if I remember right, are from his. I did these several weeks ago. But we're going to take a look at this today. And we're actually going to start on the left side of this Gigapan, and we're going to look at pieces like this right here. There's several hollow rocks in here, and I'm not sure what's going on, but you can see this rock right here, and this comes down, curves around, and comes back up, and both sides seem pretty symmetrical. I'm not sure what this is. Originally, I thought this was like a cockpit to a jet fighter, and then I thought, it looks, just based on the stuff around it, it looks a little small. Let me make sure I get that out of the way here. Okay, so yeah, we're going to take a look at these today, and we got a few to look at, so let's get right into it. All right, so we're going to go ahead and get into this because it's going to be long if I don't get started. We're going to go right into Blender, and I have all the images that we're going to use today loaded into Blender. All I did was kind of piece them together. So we're going to start with this piece over here. All right. And here's this piece, and I'm going to go ahead and, okay, make sure I don't get in the way this time. I've already recorded this twice, so we're going to do this time. Third time's a charm, right? Okay, so what I did on these images was I bumped up the contrast, adjusted the color a little bit. I think I brought up the contrast twice, in fact, just to see if we can get some texture out of this thing. And well, no, okay, I remember I brought up the contrast in Blender also, so I didn't just do it on the image with GIMP. I went ahead and brought it up in Blender also, so we could get a little more detail out of this thing. So this is kind of what this thing looks like, the shape of it and everything. And I don't know what this is. Like I say, I thought maybe canopy of a jet fighter or something, and then of course the texture would be wrong. It should be like a glass texture so you can see through it if it was. Then I thought, well, maybe it's not that big. It really doesn't look that big based on the surrounding stuff around it. And then I thought, well, what about maybe a legging from like something like, you know, like we'd have here on Earth, Roman armor or something. Of course, it's a little decayed and eroded, but you know, this is kind of what this thing looks like, at least from what we can tell, you know. And you can see it's symmetrical on both sides, at least for the most part, as you can see in the image here. Let me get in closer. And I mean, it seems to have that curve to it, and then it seems to have curve along the long axis also. What the thing is, I don't know. So, guys, let me know in the comments what you think this thing is. And I don't know what this hole is right here. And I'm not sure. It doesn't look like it goes all the way through, but it's at least dented in right there. I don't know, unless just maybe it is like leggings and this part flexes or something. That's maybe some sort of hinge or something. I don't know. Once again, like I said, we're just guessing. We don't know. But this Gigapan is just filled with so many odd shapes and weird looking rocks. Let's go ahead and put this one back. And then let's get over to my transparent rock. There we are. Okay. So, at first, this is one of the very first things I noticed. No. Grab. What's going on? Where's my rock? There it is. Why didn't it highlight? I don't know. Okay. So, this is the very first thing I noticed. Number one, when you first look at this, I can't really move it over. I'll be blocking it. Okay. Was this part right here. Something about this just didn't look right, and I'm not sure what it is exactly. Now, you have this very bright rock right here. And this actually, I brought it down some. It was so bright. It was kind of like this. You couldn't see anything in the original. Let me look at the original. Because I think you could see a little bit, but you couldn't really. Yeah, you could see. Okay, you could see some texture in it. But, so I brought down the white so we could just get a little more. And then I brought up the contrast so we can get a little more depth in this thing and see kind of what this thing looks like. But the sand texture, something about it. And I want to take the time to try to burn through it as gently as possible. Or maybe if Chris does a video on this, I'll definitely check out his over at Mars Anomalies, because he can pull some stuff out of these things. But the sand texture, something about it just doesn't look right through this area. And it's like at least somewhere in here, it doesn't look right. Like they're covering something up, or maybe it's a recent light dusting. I mean, the sand blows all the time on Mars, so it would not surprise me. But this is kind of what this rock looks like. This is the shape that it has, at least from what we can see. So, yeah, I thought it looked pretty cool, and it didn't look exactly natural. So, I don't know, but let's put that one back. Oh, shit. Come on. There we go. Okay. So, okay, now I want to get into these. There's several of these throughout this image. I'll make sure I'm not in the way. Okay, so this right here is a hollow rock. It seems to have a rock texture to it. Don't know if that's what it actually is, but it's hollow in the middle. And you're actually seeing inside the rock right here. And you're not seeing the bottom because the sand has blown up and into this thing. So I don't know, but this isn't the only one. There are several of these. I'm going to show you a really good one towards the end of this. And this is kind of what this thing looks like, at least from what we tell. Now, I don't know. It looks like it goes back to here, but then again, it could be just that it's cut off by this rock. It could be a lot longer. And we can't see the bottom because the sand is covering the bottom. So what I did was I textured this as best as I could with what textures we had and we could find. And then I put the sand texture on the bottom. It's a little bit stretched for what we want, but it kind of worked, and I did not texture the top very well. I should have went back through and textured that. I kind of forgot. I was working on several of these. But that's kind of what the thing looks like. And it's got these flanged edges. Let me turn it, look from the back. And you can see it's got these flanged edges. And you can see that in the picture too. You see, these are flanged. They sit up above this. And at least on 3 sides. And then this side over here is kind of dented in. So I don't know what's going on there. But I'm going to show you. I'm going to show you at least a few of these. But there's several of these in the image. And like the other one is right here. Now I didn't model this one because it's not as clear. And I'm not 100% sure. But this one, here's the inside once again. And then you can see the outside. I can't really get enough detail to see the flanges. And this rock is obscuring the front of this. But it looks like this one's dented on that side. And then it's hollow. And if you want a little bit bigger one, you got one right here. Unless this is some other kind of texture, you can see that this is the inside of this. You got the flanged edges going around it. And you can see in it. And these things are all over this area. All up on this hill. This is another one I saw, and it kind of looks like the edges are squished in a little bit at the bottom. I don't know what's going on with that one, because then it also looks like it has this piece attached to it. That all looks like one piece, but I can't see close enough. And then we've seen this shape before. I don't know what this is. It looked like kind of like a 2-slotted toaster. That's what it looks like. There's a slot here and a slot here. This looks like something got blown apart here. And if I want to say a structure, because there's bigger pieces and then there's smaller pieces. But all these rocks have a really weird shape to them, even the bigger ones. And then you got all these smaller pieces. Excuse me. Now, we don't know what's going on with those. But they're everywhere. They're everywhere. Okay, so let's go. I want to show you this piece first. And somebody pointed this out. This might have been Yuri again. But somebody pointed this out. Take a look at that thing. This is kind of a bread box shape on the front. Or bread box or bread loaf shape on the front. And then it goes back, and it looks like kind of one of those mid-1980s TVs from the back, on the back side, where, you had the vents across the top, and you had this big boxy shape to it. Well, this is kind of what this looks like on the back side of this. And I don't know what this thing could be other than maybe a block, because it's a pretty good sized block. It's pretty far up on the hill. And like the real Jimmy Roberts one would probably tell us, this probably is only about 25, 30 foot high, but it's still up on the hill and back a ways. Oh, check this out. I just noticed this. But this looks like another one of those hollow rock box shapes, whatever. You're seeing the inside of it, and you're seeing something laying inside of it. Whatever that is supposed to be. But this, you can see it goes up vertically, comes across horizontally, and then it comes down vertically again. And it's square, And this may be the back of it, or it may be that this rock, which is what it looks like, is obscuring the back side of it. It looks like another box. And here's another one. There are a lot, like I tell you. But let's go back to this. This is what we're looking at. But I just noticed that piece. So let's rotate around it. And the textures on the back side aren't really going to match. Don't worry too much about that because we didn't have any textures to use on the back side. And then this is kind of what's going on this side over here. Let me move this over. There you go. And this, like I say, that kind of television type shape. I don't know. But that's that piece. Now, just in case you think I'm crazy, which probably some truth to that, I'm going to show you one of these boxes. We're looking almost front on, directly front onto this thing. Let's grab this. Let's move it on the Y. Take a look at that. This is the inside of it, as you can tell. It's got a square shape, and what I didn't realize when I first modeled this, don't know why I didn't, is this comes down straight, parallel with the front one, and then actually curves outward and down and gets thicker as you get towards the bottom. It's got these flanged edges, okay, across the side, and it gets wider as it gets to the top. Goes across the top and then comes down on this side. And then this side is either been rotted away, destroyed, something. And we don't know what the bottom looks like, so I have no idea on the bottom. But this is what this thing looks like. You can see the flanged edges. And that's the inside, basically what the inside looks like. And I don't know what it's made of, but it's got that crack line in there, and I put that in. So I don't know. But that is these hollow boxes, hollow rocks. Let me know in the comments what y'all think about these. I seriously would love to know what we're looking at exactly. Is it a structure? Do you think it's a structure that got destroyed? Do you think maybe some sort of aircraft or something? I don't know, you know. Or vehicles. It doesn't have to be aircraft. It could be any kind of vehicles. That one kind of looks... Is that one? No, it's not. But there you go. Well, like I said, you guys, let me know what you think, and I'll be watching the comments, see if anybody has any good ideas on that one, and maybe, like I say, we can get lucky enough to have Chris do some burns on that. From Mars Anomalies. If not, maybe I'll get some time. I've got a couple of more I'm working on, and 2 other projects. It's Sol 1284, I think, is one I'm working on. Also has some interesting stuff, and it's just a couple of days after this. So, you know, there's more stuff in that one. I'm like, okay, did we like reach a destroyed portion of their civilization? I don't know. All right, you guys take care of yourself. Have a great day, and we'll see you on the next one.